All right, guys, here's my 2007 Chevy Silverado. I've had this thing for 12 years, driven it every single day, and can count on one hand the number of issues I've had out of this thing. It's been an amazing truck. But I've always had it outside, so it was in a real bad hailstorm about a year ago, so I got dents all over the place now. And the clear coat's flaking off in big chunks. Here's the before. I'm going to attempt to paint this thing myself. You can see all the clear coat's gone. Big chunks. You should see it when it rains. The water will get behind the clear coat and it'll stay behind the clear coat. And I just recently built this garage. That's why I've got it inside now, but just recently built it, but it's been outside the entire time I've owned it. You can see that it's down to the primer here. Got a lift gate on it. This truck's been a real workhorse for me. All this clear coat's gone. It just comes off in big chunks. You can see it moving. All this clear coat's gone here. This part's gone. This part's gone. This part's gone. All this is flaking off. But anyway, here's the before, you know. Obviously, it's just destroyed. I bought another hood on Facebook that doesn't have any dents on it, so I'm hoping that'll work out. And, you know, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never painted a vehicle before. So I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to take the fender flares off. I'm going to take the tail lights out. I'm going to try to take that pinstriping off. And I'm going to cover up the cab, and I'm going to try to paint just the bed and see how that goes. Hopefully that'll go good, and then I'll get my confidence up to paint the rest of it. One way or the other, I'm going to paint the rest of it. It's just a matter of, is it going to go good or is it going to go bad? Or will I just give in and pay somebody? I really wanted it blue, but you know, at the end of the day, it is just a work truck. I didn't want to have to take the bed off to paint that part behind the cab. And I didn't want to have to do the door jams. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I kind of need this to be an easier process. Maybe once if I ever get good at it, maybe I can go back and repaint it blue or something later down the line. But for right now, we're just going to stick with the white. But here's the before. You've seen all the bad spots. And maybe I'll come back and touch base with you after I get the flares off and maybe some of the pinstriping. All right, I got the fender flare off. And I'm actually pretty relieved. I live in South Carolina, and I was pretty sure there wasn't going to be any rust underneath there because, you know, I've had it for 12 years, and it's a 2007. So, what's that? It was only about 5-6 years old whenever I got it. Yeah. So, and I imagine it was in South Carolina before that. So, you know, we don't really get much rust down here on our vehicles. So, got my spray way. Not that it really matters, but, you know, I gotta sand it all down anyway, but as you can see, there's no rust underneath the flares. You never really know what those fender flares are hiding though. You know, I've seen a lot of people take them off and there's nothing underneath it. But that's nice. Just an update. Got the flares off. I'm gonna try to do the pinstriping and take the tail lights out, obviously. And I'm not really gonna worry too much about that black, the black part. I'm just going to overspray that probably. I'm not going to worry too much about it, and then I'll just go back after the fact and repaint it black, if that makes sense. All right, I got the pinstripe off, pretty much, and the residue mostly off from the fender flares. I used a little eraser wheel on a drill. It worked pretty good. I wouldn't take off your pinstripe though unless you were planning on painting your car or truck. A lot of people are taking the pinstripe off just to take it off, and that's not a good idea because you're gonna mess up your paint. You can see the line and everything it leaves. Of course, my paint's destroyed, so that's why I took mine off, because I want to repaint it. But if you got a really nice paint job with a pinstripe on it and you're like, I don't like the pinstripe, you better leave that pinstripe on there. Did I mention I have no idea what I'm doing? Okay, I was just making sure. So this is taking a lot longer than I was expecting it to. I'm just using that little palm sander. I realize I'm probably supposed to be using a DA, but I don't have a DA. And I should probably be using more aggressive sandpaper, because it's taken me forever to get the clear coat down. I've pretty much got all the clear coat off this part, but I'm still getting it off there. See, I got to keep sanding all that till all those little bubbles are gone. Obviously, I can't paint over that or it would just look terrible. So I'm using 220 grit sandpaper, and it's getting it. It's just taking forever. You can see where this is all smooth here. And it feels really good. Again, no idea what I'm doing. But I don't want to really go down to 80 grit. I'm sure I can go down to 80 or something and cut right through it. But I'm trying to get away without primer in this thing. I'm gonna put a couple little spots of primer here and there where I've went down to the bare metal around here. But I don't want to prime the whole side, so I'm just gonna keep chugging along with my 220 grit and my little palm sander and see what I can do. I mean, I just started this project yesterday and I've only worked on it, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, I started on it last night a little bit, and all I did then was take the fender flares off. So today I did all of the pinstriping on both sides. I took off all the residue on both sides. I cut the grass. I went and bought an arcade game over there in the back of the other truck. And I've been sanding on this for a couple hours, so I guess it's been a pretty productive day. I think I'm gonna work on it just a little bit longer and call it a night. But I'll come back when I get everything sanded. Well, I sanded it all down with 220 and 180. And I got down to the bare metal in a couple spots. So then I put a little bit of primer on a couple spots. And then I decided to mist it with primer. That's gonna be my guide coat, basically. And then I'm gonna come back with 400 grit and sand all that off. And then I think I'll be ready to paint. What do you think? Is this gonna happen? I think I might just leave it like this. I told my kids I'd just leave it like this and add a few more to the front. Call it a day. But anyway, I'm gonna keep working on it. All right. This is where I'm at. Good, bad, right or wrong, I'm getting ready to paint this thing today. Got to do it today. So, let's see. I got it all sanded down the best I could. I only went to 400 grit. People say, you know, you could do up to 600, 800, blah, 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 blah. This is a work truck, people. I tried to get it as good as I could get it. I probably shouldn't have used gray primer because that might shine through on the base coat, but I'm hoping 2 good coats are going to cover it up. This is about all the masking I'm going to do. I'm not too concerned about the black on the bed liner because I'm going to paint that black after the fact anyway. So my plan is just to get overspray all over it. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to tape it off and paint it all black. Same thing on the Tommy gate. I think I got everything sanded down pretty smooth. Let's see here. What am I going to tell you about next? I went ahead. This is the paint I'm going to use. I just bought the pre-mixed stuff. That's just less stuff for me to worry about. See, it's already Olympic white. It's already got everything in there. I'm just going to stir it up, put it in the spray gun. I am going to have to mix the clear 2-to-1 on that deal. This is the paint gun that I bought. Intercraft D1 Drizzle for Shizzle by Snoop D.O. Double Jizzle. It was like $100 on Amazon. Seems to be pretty nice. Again, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, so it doesn't matter. A $20 one would probably look nice to me too. It's got a gauge on it. It's got a water separator. Yeah, well, the reason I bought this is I was watching a few channels. Paint Society, #1. He said that this was a good gun. And a lot of people said it was a pretty good gun for a beginner like me. And the thing I like about it is Paint Society, he said that this had less overspray than the rest of them. You know, I'm doing this in my garage. I'm hoping I don't get overspray all over everything. I don't really know what to expect. But we're going to try it. I was tempted to paint it outside. I was about 50-50. I kept going back and forth if I should paint it outside or not. I'm going to put these 3 fans over there. I'm going to open that door about 2 feet. I'm going to put those 3 fans underneath it. I've got these air filters I'm going to put on the other side, and I'm hoping it's going to pull the overspray out. And I'll show you my air compressor setup. I put it outside. I've got it underneath the door there. I've got a small air compressor because I was watching the Underground Paint King on YouTube. The Underground Paint King, the people's champ. He paints cars all the time with a 20-gallon air compressor. And this is actually a 30-gallon air compressor. Well, maybe it's a 20-gallon. I don't remember now. Let's see. Yeah, well, this baby's got 8.2 at 40. That's pretty dang good for a compressor this size. I noticed the Underground Paint King, his is like 5 at 40. So this ought to be better. It's an old school, made in USA deal. Seems to be a pretty nice air compressor from what I can tell. I bought it at an auction about a month ago, $100. I got all my stuff out here so I don't get overspray all over it. Got my pool table covered up. I wish I would have bought a couple more drop cloths to go with the length one more time. I may end up just spreading out some of those across the bottom. But I don't know what else to tell you. I got it all sanded down. My people tell me I need to put sprayway. I'm gonna spray the sprayway stuff all over it. I'm gonna spray it all down with sprayway. Wipe it all off with this cloth, microfiber cloth. And then I'm going to use a tack rag on it. And I'm going to go to town. I may be getting runs all over the place. I don't know. I'm just going to try it. I've always kind of wanted to see if I could pull this off. So today I'm going to find out. So I don't know if I'm going to film me actually painting it because I think I'm going to be nervous. I'm going to be shaking. Well, I'm going to have the camera in one hand, paint can in the other. So I think I may just go ahead and spray this baby and see how it goes. But I'll stop rambling on and I'll be back whenever I figure something else out. Hopefully when I come back, it'll all be painted and look perfect. All right, I found another tarp to put down. And here's my setup with my fans. I got 3. Probably should have got another one. I'm hoping that's going to get the overspray. We'll see. I sprayed all this down with the spray away. I cleaned it about 5 times, kept going over and over everything with a microfiber cloth. I kept cleaning it till the cloths were clean. I didn't see anything on the cloth when I got done. So at this point, I think I'm ready to paint. I gotta use a tack cloth one time or 2 times, however many. Wipe it all down with the tack cloth, and then I'm gonna spray this thing and hope for the best. All right, I got the base coat down. I had an issue over here because this is where I started, you know. And I should have took this rack off. I think I hit the rack with the paint gun and it knocked some dirt in there. And of course, then I tried to wipe it off. So that part's not perfect yet. I'm still working on it. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell. I had a couple runs there and some dirt and everything else. This was a disaster here, but everything else went pretty dang good. I'm gonna try to put one more coat, probably on this whole side. I don't know how much paint I got left, but that part's still a little thin because I had so much trouble there. And this is just the base coat. I haven't done the clear yet. But man, I'm pretty freaking happy with it actually. This went pretty good so far if I don't destroy it all with the clear coat. I put 3 coats on this side. I think I did 3 on both sides. It looks great to me. I'm happy with it. And after I do all this and do the clear and all that and let it dry for weeks probably, I'm gonna take this off here and redo the whole bed. I'm just probably just spray bomb it black just to make it look good. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. All right, I put another coat on the problem area. And I think I better just quit. I've actually got quite a bit of paint left in my gun. I think I better just stop. You know, you keep messing with something and you're just gonna make it worse. I'm just gonna leave it alone. And remember, it's just a work truck. You can see it right through there. Well, my light's not very good in here. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it alone. I may end up putting a pinstripe back on it anyway, and that's gonna hide that a little bit anyway. It'll be fine. Still looks, I don't know, I better leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone, people. I'm gonna leave it alone. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit, and I'm gonna put the clear coat on it, and hopefully I don't screw it all up with the clear coat. All right, time for the clear coat. This stuff needs to be mixed 2 to 1. So I've got this little cup here at Walmart or Lowe's somewhere, and I'm gonna mix up a pretty good bit of it. So I'm probably gonna go up to the, where am I? I'm gonna go up to the 8 with the clear coat. And then when you put the hardener in, you gotta go up to that 8. Mix it all up, put it in the gun, and let's spray this baby. Well, I'm glad I checked because I was seeing this and thinking, I don't know about this. I don't know if they're gonna give me enough activator. Yeah, well, it's 4 to 1, not 2 to 1. 4 to 1. So I've got it at the 8, so I'm gonna use the 4 to 1 now in the cup. All right, here we go. Got 1 coat of clear on it. I'm gonna try to do 3 coats. But yeah, I had a big run here and some dirt in it and everything else, and I panicked earlier when I was doing the base coat, and I grabbed some lacquer thinner and wiped it all off. And then I gave it like 10 minutes and I wet sanded it real quick. And then I put another base coat on it, maybe 2 coats. And heck, you can't even really tell now. That's wild. I got lucky with that. So far, so good. Still kind of flashing off. I don't think my fans are really doing much of anything. That didn't really work how I wanted it to. There was a lot of overspray, but I don't think it's hurting anything. I don't have anything in here I really care that much about. I got my pool table covered, so I think it'll be fine. Anyway, I guess I'll come back when I get it all finished up. I got to put 2 more coats of clear on it. I'm pretty happy with it. You can see how yellowed it was before. And the bed was the worst part because pretty much the whole bed was flaking off like this. Paint, clear coat just falling off the thing. Whole truck's like that. But the bed was the worst spot. It's got some orange peel in it, but I think it looks real good. I'm gonna tape all this off once the paint cures in a couple weeks. I'm gonna tape that off and spray bomb the whole thing black. Get it to look good. I think it looks nice. Put my new tail lights in since I got new paint. Bought those like a year ago. I got 1 run in the clear, but I'm not even gonna mess with it. Yeah. That's the only run I could find. Looks good to me. All right, I had to put my kids to work. They're cleaning the fender flares for me. I want to get all the dirt off the back side and the front before I put it back on the truck. You may be wondering why I'm doing this now. Well, I want to get the bed taken care of, and then I'll move on to the front part. That's just how I am. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I want to start putting stuff back on the truck before I start taking more stuff off the truck. What do you think?
Huh?
Good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah? I almost hate to even mess with this side, but for whatever reason, this fender and these 2 doors, the clear coat never came off of. But, you know, I do have a dent in the fender there and a couple dents on the top of those doors. And it'd be crazy to paint the entire truck with this one little section here. So I guess I'm gonna take the pinstripe off it and paint it along with everything else. But they don't really need it. I mean, they look pretty good. And this is my eraser wheel. You literally just go up to it. It slowly starts taking it off. All right, here's the passenger side. This side was in real bad shape. It seemed like the pinstripe was keeping it all from going down past that point. The hood's real bad, but I've got another hood. But look at this side. This side's pretty presentable. All the clear coat's actually still on this side for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the way I park every day. I park the same exact way every day. I always back it into my store. And I don't know if the sun just hits that other side more or what. But yeah, this side looks pretty good. And all right, the pinstripe came off pretty easy too. I could probably wax and buff this side and get it looking pretty good, but if I'm going to repaint the truck, it'd be stupid to just not paint this part. I'm just going to repaint the whole thing and be done with it. Well, I got the front fender flares off. The front ones had a lot more dirt behind them. You'd think it'd be the opposite way. You'd think the back would have more dirt, but whatever. So I'm glad I took these off so I can clean all behind here. Change of plans really too, because I decided I was just going to paint the other ones because they were kind of faded. Clean this side up already. My daughter's over there having a good time with the Mega Touch. But these are a little bit faded, so I think I'm going to paint them before I put them back on. I saw some people doing it with a heat gun, but they say if you do it with a heat gun, it's just going to fade pretty quick, and once you heat them up, they get brittle. So I don't want them to get brittle on me, so I think I'm just going to paint them. But getting there. I think I'm going to take these mirrors off. There's just a few bolts inside. Pretty easy to do. Take both the mirrors off. I'll probably leave the door handles on and tape around them. But yeah, I'm pretty much ready to start sanding everything now. So I'll be back when I get all that sanded up, and we'll be ready to paint again. I guess it's probably going to take me a couple weeks to sand it. I'm going slow. I don't want to get burned out. I'm doing it whenever I have time. All right, here's my next update. I basically got both sides sanded with 180 grit. I went down to the metal in a few spots, so I got a few spots primered. And then I kind of misted it with primer as kind of a guide coat for whenever I go back with my 400 grit. Here's this side. This side was a lot worse because the clear coat was in a lot worse shape. So this actually took a lot longer. And I spoiled myself doing the bed first because I pretty much did all of that with the little sander and there wasn't too much hand sanding. But up here I got to go around the windows and the door handles, and I got that body line there. It's just a lot more tedious. But I am gonna do the top too. The top is in a lot worse shape. It's got a lot of hail damage up there. The hood had a lot of hail damage too, but I've got another hood that I'm gonna put on. And there's a couple dents in the fender I want to try to fix. There's one here, one there. And I don't know if I'm gonna mess with that one or not because it's not that big of a deal. I'm trying not to get too carried away. It is, you know, you could spend forever working on this thing, sanding down every little thing. But I got a couple hail dents up here I want to try to fix. And there's probably 100 of them on the roof there. I think I'm gonna sand most of the roof down with 80 grit, get it down to bare metal. Just try to fill them in with Bondo the best I can. Sand it all down, get it as flat as I can, and then I'm gonna roll with it. That's how we roll. But I'm hoping I can get it as good as I got the bed looking. I'm really happy with how the bed turned out. I got my fender flares on too, but we'll save all that for the final reveal. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. Obviously I took off my mirrors. I had to take the door handles out. A lot of little tedious things really. And the bottom rocker panels, they had a lot of rock chips on them. I'm trying to get a lot of those out. I don't want to get too carried away. but I'm trying to fix a lot of them. But I'm gonna keep at it. That's right, I'm on the hood. But yeah, I'm just marking them like this so I know where they're at. Obviously, that's a low spot, that's a low spot, that's a low spot, that's a low spot. And I'm really trying to take care of these ones on the front a lot better. Obviously, I got a lot more to go. But these are more important to me because I can actually see those from the ground. Well, I'm about ready. As ready as I'll ever be. I'm pretty much worn out though. I've been at this all day. Let's see. Remember, I already had the bed done. And I already had it sanded to the 400. Yeah, well, I went over it again with 600, hoping to get it a little bit smoother because the bed has quite a bit of orange peel in it, but that's okay. And geez, this has just been a major undertaking for me. Just taping off the windows and everything took me a couple hours. But we're gonna try it. I think I'm in the home stretch, hopefully. I'm hoping I can get the roof good. I've got 2 ladders set up. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna go. I guess I'm just gonna go this way and meet in the middle. And I'm hoping I can get behind here good. Don't have too much room to work with, but I'm hoping I can shoot it up in there. Same thing with that part there. Woo! All right, well, I've got to get all set up, but I'm hoping to be spraying in about 30 minutes. I left myself more room on the other side this time. I had it, when I did the bed, I was way too close on this side and I didn't have much room, but now I got a lot more room to work. And I don't have a tripod here at home, but I'm gonna try to set you up somewhere and hopefully get a little bit of the video of you see me actually painting the thing. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I got 3 coats of base on. don't know the best way to get this overspray out of here. People tell me to use those fans and block everything off like that, but it doesn't seem to be helping. I'm doing something wrong, I guess. But anyway, I got 3 coats of the base on there, and I've actually got 1 coat of the clear on it already. It's going pretty good. If you saw that paper fall in the little earlier, believe it or not, it didn't even hit the truck. It didn't touch the truck. I couldn't believe it. I'm trying to get a little bit closer this time, and I bumped up my pressure a little bit. I think when I did the bed, my pressure might have been a little too low. So they say, we'll see. Well, originally I was going to replace this rack. This rack was actually never meant to be on that truck. My brother Donnie made this for my blue truck, which is the one that I had before this. And originally it came out a little bit further because the bed on the other one was 6.5 feet long. Well, this truck has an 8-foot long bed, so it didn't reach. So what I ended up doing was I ended up just cutting it, shrinking it, and putting it into the middle hole of the bed. And he made this for me 17 years ago. Can you believe that? 17 years I've been using this rack. And you know, it's just some square tubing that he welded together for me. Got a couple brackets on it. And I have these boat straps that bolt to them. That way I never have to carry straps. It works out perfect. So the more I thought about it, I think I'm just gonna keep this one. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? I've been using this thing for 17 years and it's moved thousands of machines for me. So there really isn't any reason to replace it. It's heavy duty. It bolts in my bed real good. So I think I'm just gonna rebuild this one, okay? Rebuilding. Yeah, buddy, I like this rebuilding deal. Like new money. Might get another 17 years out of it, Donnie. I really didn't think I'd get 17 years out of this thing. Donnie welded this up for me in the backyard one day, and it only took him, I don't know, an hour to build the whole thing, and it's that. It's actually pretty heavy. I had a hard time getting it off the truck. Heavier than I remembered it being. It's been on that truck for 12 years. And it was on my blue truck for about 5 years. And I guess it's gonna stay on this truck forever at this point. But anyway, that's the story behind the roof rack. My brother made it for me 17 years ago. But anyway, I'll let you know. And I'll be back with you whenever I get it all finished up here. Starting to look pretty good. clean all the windows. But I just washed out the bed. I'm getting ready to basically spray bomb the bed. I call it spray bombing, where you just take some spray paint the whole thing. Spray bombing. I did the top caps already, so I shouldn't even have to mask anything off. I'm just gonna go to town once everything dries. Of course I got to touch up the black there. Getting there. Still got my door panels off because I had to take the handles off. And I've got a hood that I haven't painted yet, but we're getting there. All right, so here's the back of the fender flare. It's basically just held on by some double-sided tape and some plastic rivets. And it stays on fine that way. I mean, the truck's 18 years old and it was still holding on fine, so I'm gonna put it back exactly the way they had it on there. We'll see if we can get it on there. All right, fender flare is on. That's one of the things I love about this truck. It all just pops on. I can put the mirrors on in like a minute. I can have that mirror on and off. I can take the door panels off on the inside within 2 or 3 minutes. I can get the handles off in a couple minutes. Fender flares just pop on. Got these little rivets. Everything just makes sense on this truck. All right, so I made it to Northern. These are what I use. 39, 40 bucks. The whole thing with the strap. Crank handle. You can buy another strap too, but the straps are $35. So I used to just buy the whole thing for 40. I've changed these a couple times before. I think I change them every 5 years or so. But that's that. I'm pretty sure this is the one I get, the $40 one. They've got another one for $55, but I don't think I spent that much. I think this is the one that I usually get. And they used to be 20 bucks, but now they're 40. All right, I got the rack back in. I'm bolting it in. Got new grade 8 bolts. Goes all the way through the tubing there. Back out the other side with a lock washer and a nut on the back. So I'm gonna do that to all 4. That's the way I had it before. I'm just putting all new hardware and stuff on it. All right, here's my hood. I bought this one on Facebook Marketplace a couple months ago. It's in a lot better shape than my original hood because my other hood has probably 50 hail damage dents all over it. And I didn't think this one had any dents until last night. Everything looks different under different light. Last night I was moving it around and that light there was shining down on it. And there was a decent dent right in through here. But you can't even hardly see it in the daytime, so I don't even know if I'm going to worry about it. It does have some paint that peeled off over here and there. It's got some rock chips, stuff up front here. So obviously I'm going to sand it all down. Probably going to have to go down to the metal in a few areas. Basically do the exact same thing I did on the truck. Hit it with primer in a couple spots. Probably missed it with some primer after I sanded it the first time. Then I'll go back with some like 400 or maybe 600 grit sandpaper. And we'll do it all again. All right, so here's where I'm at. Remember, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I sanded all the little rock chips down and all the little paint flakes and all that. Sanded out all that down with 80 grit. And then I went back and sanded the whole hood with 180. Now I'm going to go in and spot primer all the little bare metal spots. And then I'm going to go back with 400 all the way over. And then I may even go up to 600 after that. Bam, one more time. And then we're going to paint. Okay, everybody on the same page? All right. All right, I decided to wet sand it with 600 grit. Seems like I can just get it a lot smoother when I wet sand. I don't know, maybe it's just because it's wet. But figured I'd try wet sanding the hood. See how that goes. All right, here we go. I got it all sanded down the way I wanted it. I wiped it off with the spray way. I'm getting ready to wipe it down with the tack cloth. And then we're gonna have at it, I guess. I don't think my little fan setup was even working. So I think I'm just gonna leave this door open and hope that the overspray just leaves. That may have been how I should have done it all along, but people online were saying to shut everything down, block everything off, and have some fans to pull it out. Which it worked a little bit. You can see my filters are kind of dirty, so it was doing something. But I sure had a lot of overspray in that last video, so I think I'm just gonna leave this one open. I know a bug or two might fly in, but I'm thinking this may be better. But anyway, here we go. All right, I got it all finished up. Got the paint on there and everything. What do you think? Looks pretty good. There it is. All right, I got it all finished up. I thought about ending the video there, but I thought people would get mad. So I'm not going to pretend that I did a perfect paint job. I think a lot of people on YouTube do that, but I probably should have practiced some. I literally just dumped the paint in the gun and started spraying. Stay in the car! Stay in the car! So on the bed, I don't think I had my pressure high enough, and maybe not even my fluid high enough, and maybe I was too far away from the panel. I'm not sure. But if you get close to the bed, it's got some orange peel in there. But I mean, we're nitpicking it now. So then when I started doing the cab, I bumped up my pressure a little bit, and I think it got a little bit smoother. Okay. And then whenever I got to the hood, I bumped up my fluid and I got a little closer to the panel, and I think I got it a lot smoother, orange peel wise anyway. I did get a few runs in it. Got one on the bed, and most of the other runs were on the hood, but there were little tiny ones. I can't even find them now. I haven't washed it yet either. And my body work, you can still kind of see if you're at the right angle. And obviously I left a bunch of the hail dents on the roof. I mean, I really didn't care. I got some overspray on some of my rubber that I didn't tape off quite good enough. But, I mean, come on. I think it looks pretty good. It's an 8 anyway. I try to make all my stuff an 8. You know, if you try to make it a 10, you're just going to waste a lot of time and money and never get that back. So 8 is good enough for me. I didn't get too carried away with the bed because I'm just going to start putting arcade games in here anyway. But I did get the tops done. I know nobody really probably cares, but I just figured I'd film this video for myself, really, to look back on 5-10 years later. That time I painted my truck in the garage. This has just been an amazing truck to me. I've driven this thing every day for 12 years and hardly had any issues out of it. This was the exact truck that I wanted whenever I went to buy this truck. I wanted the 8-foot bed. I wanted the extended cab. I didn't want the crew cab because it would have been too long. I wanted an 8-foot bed so I could get as many arcade games on there as possible. I put 8 in the bed all the time. And usually I have 8 in the bed and 20 in the trailer, 6 in the bed, 20 in the trailer. One time I had 8 on the truck with the gate down, and I had to take the jack off the trailer so I could leave this tailgate down, and I drove that way for about 4 hours, 8 in the bed and like 25 in the trailer. Most of you guys know I sell arcade games, but this was the exact truck I wanted other than white. I didn't like how it was white, but you can't have everything. I didn't clean the inside yet, but it's just the basic truck. It's got the manual windows. It's got the manual locks. I really like the rubber floor because, you know, you don't have to worry about it. I can blow all that out, wash it all out, and it'll look brand new again. It's got the cloth seats. Love the cloth seats. That's what I wanted. I don't really get the appeal of leather. It's too cold in the winter and it's too hot in the summer. Somebody explain that to me. Cloth is perfect. But look at this seat. It's got 300,000 miles on it almost. The seat's still in pretty dang good shape with my big butt in there. I'm the only person that's driven this truck in the past 12 years. I think Donnie drove it around the block when we were trying to figure out if I needed tie rod ends or something. But anyway, it's a dang good truck. No lights on the dash, still runs perfectly fine. Got pretty good oil pressure still. But my kids really like this truck, I guess because it's the only truck they've ever known. They used to stand up there and wait for me to come home. And I'd pull up here. And they'd run along the side, and I'd park up there where that truck is. And they'd jump up in there with me, pretend they were driving. So they wouldn't let me sell this truck. Not that I would have anyway, but you just can't get a good truck anymore. I could have bought a new truck, but they're all junk. Every truck out there they make today is junk. And I don't get the diesel thing. I just don't understand the diesel. And you're going to say, well, Joe, diesel go 500,000 miles. Yeah, well, this one's got 300 on it. And your diesel costs twice as much as mine did. I could buy 2 or 3 of these trucks for the amount you're paying for your diesel. Well, Joe, my diesel truck could get better gas mileage than your 6.0 gas motor will. Yeah, but your diesel fuel costs more money. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't want to drive a truck around at the drive-through and smell it and all that. Anyway, this was the exact truck I wanted at the time. It's got the 6.0 gas in it, which is, I think, the best motor out there. I bought another truck over there. The reason I bought it, because it's got the same 6.0 gas motor in it that this one does. And it's only got 60,000 miles on it. This one's got 300, still running good. But anyway, I know this is a little bit different of a video, but just figured I'd film it. Thanks everybody for watching. If you watched this long, I'm going to include a handful of pictures that I found, that I took over the years. But there's been a ton more. This is just a tiny, tiny little piece of the amount of work I've done with this thing. I've done everything with it. Haul cars, haul a bunch of trash, haul 1,000 games in this thing. But anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Where do you think you're going? That's my truck. Excuse me. You have a license. Do you have a driver's license?
No.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I know this is Hannah's truck.
Hannah's truck.
And my truck. Yeah, it's supposed and suck down. Okay,
Hey.
let's drive it in you.
Do you have a driver's license, sir? What are you doing over there? What's your door open for?
It's just my door.
Oh boy.
Choose it.
All right, bye.
Now, hey y'all.
Hello.
Hi.
Driver's license and registration, please. Silly.
I don't have any.
Oh boy.
Hey y'all.
Hello.